Why don't we move on to Silicon Valley though? So this is Silicon Valley's fifth season. We talked a little bit about how the fourth season wasn't up to the superb standards of the past seasons.
Mhm.
This first episode was okay. I wasn't blown away by it, but it's definitely setting up for some of the changes in the show with TJ Miller leaving and Erlich Bachman not being there. Um, Also, Gavin Belsom coming back and not being teamed up with Richard and the team
Richard.
anymore,
Mhm.
but obviously a foe or a antagonist again. What stood out to you? What did you like? What didn't you like?
Yeah, well, I think I read some of this in advance review, so I don't think all of this was in the first episode, but I like how they're kind of like acknowledging race on the show with Jin Yang,
Mm,
um, a character that's been called an Asian stereotype by many
yeah.
in terms of the portrayal, which is very fair. But giving Jin Yang more agency as he tries to take over Ehrlich's estate, I think is really smart and also fucking hilarious, like the show
Mm-hmm.
often is. And as they go to hire more Pied Piper employees, they acknowledge the show's fucking white as hell and
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have a lot of women on the show. And whether that's the show poking fun at the allegations or poking fun at themselves, that's up for you to decide. But I think at least that they're putting it out there is a good sign. Um, whether the plot spins less wheels than it did in season 4 remains to be seen, but removing Ehrlich, and they actually kind of acknowledge this with the plot so far, but removing Ehrlich, I just think made so much sense because the presence of Ehrlich Bachman just felt like such the past few seasons, because the existence of his character in the lives of Pied Piper like didn't make any sense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They just had to kind of ham fist ways to keep him in the narrative.
Yeah.
So having him out of the picture now, and assume from what we know for good reason, considering TJ Miller's actions on set. But I think having him out of the picture is probably for the best, and hopefully makes the show a little tighter. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah, Jimmy O Yang, I think he's been one of the funniest actors on the show just in the bits he gets, but
Yeah.
him get Ehrlich out of the way gives Jin Yang a much bigger spotlight. And I don't know if you've heard any like interviews with Jimmy O Yang, but he's actually a really interesting and thoughtful comedian.
He
And I
is. Yeah.
think that his larger presence on the show is going to be a huge addition. Actually, the one thing is kind of like Atlanta. I don't really like Richard at all
No,
anymore.
never have though.
Yeah, but he at least like in the first season felt like someone to root for, even if he was like this huge, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, nerd. But it's almost kind of like Breaking Bad in a way, where he's gone from being this like very
Right.
timid whatever to being like this like huge douchebag at this point.
Tech Heisenberg.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Tech Heisenberg. So I don't know. So Silicon Valley, I hope this season it moves in a good direction, moves back to the first couple. We'll see.